What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Gym Floor. Nearly said Barbells and Banter, but you can watch that one on Wednesday. We have a very special guest for our first episode of the year. We have Laura Fox from Fox Physio, our recent addition to the team in our allied health, online allied coaching division. Really interesting episode. We do have a really big announcement towards the end of the episode, so you can make sure that you tune in for that. Our current location, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, might give you a little clue. We also went into just like Laura's journey through her business, and there's so many parallels, like small business to small business, so many parallels to coaching, chances that she took, how they paid off, things that she would maybe do differently, things that she's learned along the way, particularly like building a team and stuff like that. So really valuable episode for all small business owners. We hope you enjoy it. And yeah, go to the website to book. Bye.
Do you want to hear my funny story?
Always.
So talking about pain, right? So when I said like Ben treated my shoulder, this therapist that we used to go see, it was pretty painful. It's fucking nowhere near as painful as when I went to see this, what's the fancy massage people called?
Remedial?
Nah. My therapist.
My fancy massage. Fuck. You was like, there are people coming for you now.
Well,
fancy massage people. They're coming.
Fight me.
They're coming.
Change my mind. That's all I'm trying to say. Change my mind. And the reason why I'll say this, right? So I went in there and I had...
Is this the one we used to see?
I had No. So I got a referral. You got to go see this person, right? So I had proximal hamstring tendinopathy. Okay, that's what it was. Mm. Pain in the upper part of my hamstring, lower part of my butt cheek. Wasn't muscular. So I go in there. You know, I've seen a few people. I've been told to come and see you. So the next thing you know, he's got his fingers in my mouth, like doing the the one on the inside. Man, I've never experienced pain like this in my life, to the point where like my survival instincts were kicking in, where I was like, I have to hurt this person. I have to hurt this man to stop him from putting me through this much pain. And like, I have a pretty good pain tolerance, right? But I was glowing, like I was sweating, and I was like kicking my feet on the off the table, because I'm like, I need to either like knock this dude the fuck out or like just do something to like get through the pain. It was ridiculous. Like, and like literally put me through every single part of my body that caused excruciating pain. And I just walked out of that like, what the better. Well, one, it didn't do anything. One, it didn't do anything. And then afterwards, I was just like so happy that it was over. And then he was like, oh, you'll need to come back and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, his schedule's busy, bro. Like, I'll just let you know.
Oh,
Just
no.
never went back. I was just like, what the fuck did I just do?
Did you
like,
feel better though?
No. Nah, it was a real test. Like, it was the closest thing that I've had to torture ever. Mm. Like, it was fucking painful, man.
Yep.
So that's a challenge
Well,
for when I treat you later today.
I don't know if you want to get to the point where I want to take you out. Let's probably not do that.
Let's remain friends.
I remember I asked the guy, I was like, have you ever had anyone cry? And he's like, oh, yeah, all the time. Like, he was just so confident about it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Probably don't want to get to that point.
It's like, what are you doing here, bro? Yeah. Surely you probably had a few people tear up, though.
Yeah, a couple. You normally try and stop before that point.
Absolutely.
But yeah, obviously everyone has different like coping mechanisms with the pain. Like some people would tap their feet like you said you did.
Yeah.
Or wiggle around, or like they might just stop talking. But you try and gauge like if they're in pain and how much and what they can tolerate. I'll normally say to them, like, let me know if it gets too much, because obviously it's going to be painful. So it's like, don't let me know if it's painful, because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But let me know if it gets too much. But yeah, you try and pay attention to it. But we have had a few people cry, but usually they've been like quite emotionally heightened about something else going on.
Yeah, it's an emotional release connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not a bully.
I'm pretty sure my wife cries every time she sees Ali.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just an emotional...
Yeah,
the pain's an emotional release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten to the crying
Yeah.
stage. It was pretty close, though. I was crying out of pain, though, not like emotional release.
I think... Yeah.
It's like, please, make it stop.
Yeah. Laura had me half off the bed one day treating my psoriasis. And I was like, she must have both hands fucking claw gripped in my rib cage right now, and I full body sweats, shin sweat and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
trying to like roll off the
Yeah.
bench to get away, and I look down, she's just like
The sweat.
one finger rolling down my fuck. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I want to die right now. That and the subscap.
I love
When
that
you
one.
get the, I love it until I get the nerve burn. It shoots up the
It's
elbow.
like, not
That's
many
not
people
it. That's
can
not
get
it.
In the right spot.
When you get it,
Yeah.
it's fucking.
So-
Especially the bigger your lats are.
Ben,
I'll give you a little compliment.
thank you. Starting off, really gassing me up before you fucking get me squirming
Just
off the table,
abuse you.
crying on the internet.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You ready to be a business coach for the next 90 minutes?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So
Add it to
yeah-
the resume.
Yeah, so we've already recorded the fit version. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday if you want to hear about the treatment staff, building relationships with Allied. We'll talk a little bit about that today. But just the whole concept around online treatments, which is something that obviously we're offering now. If you want to push your clients through to someone that you can trust and rely upon, make sure you check out Wednesday's episode when that comes out. But today, we're going to take a slightly different turn, because I don't know many physios doing as well as you're doing. And I think it would be pretty cool to talk about the business evolution and what you're doing on the back end. And we might have a sneaky announcement. Just a sneaky one.
We're not might, we do.
Just
You
a
have to
sneaky
stick
one.
around.
Stay
Just a
tuned.
sneaky one.
That's it.
So I was trying to work out how long you'd been here for, and then I was staring at the shirts. I was like, oh, 2020. That solves that problem for me.
Yeah.
So tell us about your pathway, because I know you were somewhere else first. How have you gotten to where you are now?
Yep. Yeah, so I've been here for almost 4 years now. But I started as a physio 7 years ago. So I started, working in a private practice for someone else. And then I also just did a little bit of work at a gym on the side. And then I kind of found the gym work was a little bit more interesting to me, because like the people who trained had goals. Like I had the interest of lifting, so that was quite fascinating to me, like all the lifting injuries. But yeah, I feel like it was good to work under someone for a few years at that private practice clinic, just to get obviously a little bit of experience, get that support. And then, but yeah, I always found the gym side of things like a little bit more interesting.
So the private practice was just like Gen Pop.
Yeah, private practice. Yeah, so most private practices as a physio, it'll be Gen Pop. So average age probably, like you get all
Older
kinds of peoples, but
community.
yeah, probably like 40 to 60, a lot of neck pain, back pain, a lot of it from like a sedentary lifestyle. You'll find it was kind of like you were helping them feel a little bit better, but then they're just going to go back to what's causing the pain, whether it's like sitting at work or whatever it is. And you'll find also with the other thing that with treating people who don't train, I find like they have a lack of body awareness typically. So it's like you might give them a rehab exercise and they'll come back and then they're like, oh, that exercise made me worse. And I'm like, oh, yep, let's have a look at how you're doing it. And then they're doing like completely different exercise.
Yeah.
So I find like they're actually harder to rehab from that point of view too. Like even low level basic exercises, they might not be able to get their head around. But yeah, and then here at Fox Physio, so we typically work with like 25 to 40-year-olds, typically people who train. So the mix of, powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, just general gym. But yeah, most people that come here through here train, which is good because normally they'll have a clear goal. And the goal might not necessarily be a comp, but it'll just be like, I want to train pain-free, or I want to, I want to be able to squat, or I want to be able to do something without it hurting me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always fun to have a very clear goal to work with.
Every time you say you work with CrossFitters, I still want to make the CrossFit joke. Like,
What is it?
I'm sure they keep you in business. Like, really interesting. But I feel like it's much better now, right?
Yeah, I feel like every fucking, like once you train hard, you just get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless you-
I think the CrossFit reputation has improved though,
Yeah.
because it's not just trainers at Good Life doing it anymore.
Oh, they're just
Where
chucking
everyone's
wads together
fucking
for
broken.
Sharon.
Yeah.
He's got 3 kids and no fucking training base. Still a wad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's improved a bit.
Yeah. I mean, a larger portion is probably powerlifters and bodybuilders.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do see a few of the CrossFitters. And I guess it's hard to work with that. Like, I think the reason that injuries are common, both because they're doing like some complex movements, like the Olympic lifts, even when they're doing the rings, it's like that requires a lot of stability. Like, there's a lot of complex movements. And then not only that, but it's like they're lifting under fatigue because it's like you're doing as many reps as you can or like as quickly as you can. So the focus is less on technique, more about just like smashing it out. So I find like they're the things that are hard to work with, as well as they might not have like the specific program, like things are quite like changing a lot each week. Yeah.
Do you have any fighters come through?
Oh, we have a couple of fighters actually. Yeah.
Because I'm a fighter now.
You're a fighter.
I did Muay Thai once.
Oh,
I'm a fighter now.
this one time. Are you a black belt or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just bought it on the internet.
Yeah. Just been watching all like kung fu movies.
Yeah, I've got it nailed. We're all good.
Got all the gear too now.
I haven't yet.
Oh, didn't you? I thought you bought it.
Nah. I found my old gloves.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't know where my big ones are, but anyway.
I thought I had them.
Yeah, he stole them. I'm sure you did. I'm still sure you've got them.
I definitely don't.
So, cool. So, cut your teeth. Then obviously found a gym environment. We're like, okay, this is the direction I want to go.
Yeah.
How big was the leap to open this place?
To be honest, I almost like stumbled into it. So yeah, I was working at the private practice and then working a couple of days a week just at a gym, like essentially just as a subcontractor there. And then one of my friends was like, oh, this lady opened a gym and they've got like an upstairs room. I think it'd be good for you. And I was like, oh, no, I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing. And then he mentioned it again like a couple of weeks later and I was like, oh, it's near my house. I'll just have a look on the way home. And then I came in here and I was like, I just like this. Like, I don't know. I was like, it's got good natural light. And then obviously the gym downstairs. And then I guess once I saw the space, I just saw like things I could do with it. And I guess when I opened, I knew the niche I liked to work with, but I didn't really expect that it would take off so well just with that niche coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we had some chats when I first started and you helped me like with like marketing, social media, like talk to the person that you want to come in. So like talk to your ideal client avatar. And that was really helpful as well. But yeah, it built quite quickly within our niche just from, I guess, word of mouth. And essentially that's where the business has got to today. We've just grown from word of mouth so far. Yeah.
I think it's cool, even like you said, word of mouth has made your business, which obviously a lot of coaches listen to this and hopefully some therapists as well. As much as we talk about socials and all that kind of stuff a lot, you can't undervalue relationships, networking, and being really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, we basically, as soon as we started working with you, was like, okay, no one else treats me, and I'm not recommending anyone else. Like, it was just straight instant. Haven't received this level of service before. There's a barbell in the logo. It's black and orange. Like, it just ticks all the boxes. So, you had the guts to be like, we're going with a barbell in the logo.
Yeah.
Like, that sets a scene straight away. Like, and strength rehab in the name. It's like, this is what we do, which is brave and cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously, yeah, like building those relationships with people like us.
Yeah.
That are going to just be like, go here.
Yeah.
Even if we have to drive.
Yeah.
100 hours to get here.
People like us will, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I found it so much more fulfilling working with the niche as well, because it's like when I worked at the private practice, maybe a few people from my gym would like come in for treatment, and I'm like, I really like working with these people. Like, it's like they're a bit more motivated and they get better results. It's like I'm giving them more range of motion. They're actually going to go use it, so that like the carryover is going to be better. So I always knew that like I found that like a lot more fulfilling. So I think I just knew that was the niche I wanted to work with. And I guess the benefit of most of our referrals being word of mouth is it almost keeps that niche, because it's like people, I guess, from that population will be talking to other people they know, and they'll be like, I've had this gym injury, they've helped me with that. So I guess by being mainly word of mouth, it's kind of helped keep the niche. Obviously, to grow the business, like we need to do like some marketing and stuff as well, which we haven't really tapped into. But yeah, I think that's the benefit of keeping it word of mouth so far.
Yeah. Did you always have like, because I know now you worked with some pretty high-end athletes that compete and take things very seriously and even get like a long way. Did it start out just weekend warriors and then progressed with more trust and then you started to attract the higher end client in terms of like goals and outcomes? Or did you always just have competitors and stuff coming through?
Oh, good question. I feel like it's probably progressed into more competitors over the time, but I think because it is more of an uncommon thing that there's a physio who's like interested in gym and knows about the gym. I feel like we did get a few early on. So just the fact that like, yeah, there's like even like there's a physio that trains at the gym. They're like, oh cool, I'll just book in with her.
Yep.
So I think like we got a few early on, but then I think as I guess we've built up a reputation or built up like by seeing more people in their gym or in their community, like that's definitely allowed us to see more and more higher level athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even to the point of like some of those higher level athletes are like interstate on the like online consults as well. Yeah.
So I have this conversation with trainers all the time. So something that you did really well was, like I said, committing to who the person's going to be, and that's who we're going to work with.
Yeah.
And then it's like, even when the people come in that are weekend warriors that just like going to the gym and their shoulder hurts, fixing that then talks to someone else, that then talks to someone else. We do it with PT, where it's like, if you've got people coming into the gym that like getting stronger, make them really strong. If they want an athletic goal, make them really athletic. And then you start to, like, that's how I became a powerlifting coach. It's just like, well, I took people that wanted to get a bit stronger and was like, hey, did you know if you competed now, you'd fucking win? And Jace was the same. We started out with like transformations and all of that kind of stuff. And then now there's bodybuilders, now there's powerlifters. And I think a lot of business owners in general think, well, I have to go from Susan to competitor. And they don't see the pathway in between, that it's like the amount of reps that you've done with the weekend warrior. And that means you get the pro roll lifter and the physique client and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And I think as well, you probably wouldn't want all high-level athletes as well. I mean, I guess you get different personality types with both, but I think having the variety can be quite good, like having people with different goals. But yeah, like you said, to get to the high-level ones, you need to see that. Just do the work, seeing like everyone that trains, I guess, and you'll see those common injuries, common trends, even if it's a high level versus like more weekend warrior. Like you still see common patterns, and it's like you're still learning things along the way. So you're going to be, if like your goal is to be like the best for that elite level athlete, you're going to be a better practitioner by the time you get there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just I guess skin in the game. Yeah.
Even just cutting your teeth at the start, like that makes you realize that you want to work with who you want to work with. Like I feel like a lot of people listen or they just see the end product of like, you know, someone's development and go, oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Like, why do I not have it now?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you probably, who knows? Like maybe there's a therapist out there or a personal trainer who doesn't want to deal with high level bodybuilders, powerlifters, who doesn't want to treat them.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to someone the other day and they were like, you know, deal with Gen Pop, like just teaching people how to exercise, getting them into like just fitness in general. In my head, I was like, I couldn't think of anything worse. But for them, they were like, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So that person potentially worked with everyone, maybe got a couple of high-end level athletes, even just mentally, who, you know, lifestyle clients in the gym. It was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always like the highest level of like whatever it is that you're working in isn't always what everybody wants to work in.
Yeah.
And to find out where you're the most fulfilled, obviously the highest skilled, and are able to make a living off it, those three things are going to be a little bit different for everyone. So you have to throw the net over everything to find out what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Yeah. I think a lot of people that come through, like when they first start, they're like, yeah, how do I get to see just people who train? But it's like, and they might not have even like treated many people that train yet. So it's like, I think you just need to see like a little bit of everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, even at uni, the benefit of like lots of different placements was we had like musculoskeletal, we had neuro, we had cardiovascular, like we had so many different placements. And to be honest, I was like, I don't know if I've picked the right career. Like I was in a hospital, did all these placements, and then it wasn't till my very last one, it was private practice. And I was, all these placements, like I didn't really like them at all. I was like, I just don't really feel like this is what I want to do. And then I did the private practice one, and I was like, oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like they enjoyed things they thought they would, but some people were surprised too. So it's like, you might be surprised with, the population you enjoy working with, or this, what your skill set suits better as well.
Did you when you decided to do physio, was it like you just liked physio and didn't know where you would land, or you kind of knew that? you were always going to be, it was always going to be this?
I actually didn't know it was going to be like this. So through high school, like as a kid, even through uni, like I really enjoyed doing sport, just like any sport. Like so I did like mainly a bit of netball, touch football, athletics. But I wasn't so much in the gym at the time that I like went to uni. So it was my second year uni that I really got into the gym. And that was more just as a cardio bunny and then like gradually transitioned into strength training. But yeah, it was just coincidental that like I ended up getting into the gym, and then that the more I got into it, then then I ended up like getting more towards that. But I definitely didn't know like while I was at uni that I wanted to work with lifters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many lessons to that. Like just fuck around and find out. Like
Yeah.
we were talk about it with the
It's the discover your passion. Don't try and identify it straight away.
yeah, and there's so many levels to that. Like we won't talk about it today, but Ben and I have been going down this rabbit hole of like, you know, relationships and friendships
Yeah.
and socializing and stuff. And like people are just like looking for a certain thing straight away. Like
Yeah.
a certain relationship or a certain dynamic or a certain job or a certain career or a certain type of clientele. It's like sometimes, like you said before, it's like you've got to kind of start here and make it, or
Yeah.
just see if it's going to work out. And like your career path is the total example of that. It's like, I kind of think this is going to be for me, and I'm going to start here and just see where I land.
Yeah.
But most
Yeah.
people won't do that if it's not a sure thing. It's like,
Yeah.
if I'm not going to do this and work with this people, I won't start. And it's like, there's going to be so many people that get into, like, who would have thought, like, our job work is this now?
Yeah.
You know, like, I was just like, oh, I like to train people. I like to be in the gym. And then it's like, if I knew that this was where I was going to end up, like, I would have dived in at the start straight away. Like, fuck yeah, let's do this. But
Yeah.
so, like, who would have known that I would have liked this?
But at the same time, you're also, when you first started training people, maybe didn't have. So people talk about passion, right? And it's like, it's easy to sit here and be like, Laura's really passionate about working with athletes and getting the best out of them.
Yeah.
And we're really passionate with working with our clients. But year one, were you passionate enough to get up at 5 a.m. and drive to the other side of the city to do the podcast? You're like, no, I'm just fucking train people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even getting paid for that time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the passion evolves over time and people go looking for it straight away. So it's like if you're a student right now studying to be an allied health pro and you're sitting there like, and I've seen this I've been observing it, let's say, with allied health and personal trainers both do it. It's like, I am the insert sport name, allied or coach. And I think about my own kind of pathways through my own training. It's like I spent the first 6 years in the gym 100% pursuing physique. Then I did powerlifting for 6 years. Now I don't really know what I do. Just try and be strong and do other stuff. So it's like, if you pigeonhole yourself into a thing because you like doing it, what do you do later? Whereas for you, it's like, I like the gym. I work with powerlifters, I work with bodybuilders, and like even yours, like you got some strength people, some weekend warriors, some competitors. But if you just like, I only work with competitors, and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to go, we've joked about it, like at, I don't know, I can't remember what your age limit is. Like, I'm going to go do CrossFit.
41.
So it's like, what do you do then? It's like, I'm not the bodybuilding coach anymore because I don't bodybuild.
Yeah.
How does that kind of transition? So I think you've nailed the realm of like, because you weren't even powerlifting when you started.
No.
It was like CrossFit-y, bodybuilding-ish, all over the place kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he just liked the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a lesson to commit to an area, but don't overcommit to, I don't want to say it in case someone actually has the name, like don't become at Ben powerlifting coach.
Yeah.
And just define yourself as only that.
Yeah.
You can take it too far as well.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to try, like, but also don't be afraid to cut your teeth and see where you land.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Try heaps of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It within your realm, because there's so many things in therapy and in training where you can land if you love it. But it's just because you love what you do and we love what we do doesn't mean that you love what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
And that's the cool thing about people. Like, everyone is so individual. Like, we like different things. We're good at different things.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see someone who's passionate about what they're doing. And it's like, it doesn't, like, to me, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Like, it doesn't matter if they're in this industry, if they're like working down the street at like cafe. It's like, if they're passionate about making that coffee for someone because they see that makes their day, like they're happy, or like they like chatting with that person. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's something completely outside what we're doing, but to see someone passionate about what they're doing is just a really nice thing.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
So opened here 2020.
Yeah.
Had shutdowns happened yet?
Yeah.
So we signed the lease, and then COVID became a thing, so shutdowns were just happening.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just committed, and
You guys were allowed to stay open most of the time, I think,
Yeah.
because it was considered.
it was a little bit of a grey area.
Yeah.
But but being health, we were able to stay open as long as our clients would decline without us seeing them. So we kept seeing people were actually still quite busy. I guess we had people transitioning to working from home. Like their setups just weren't great. We had people transitioning to training at home where they'd normally be in the gym.
Barbells for days.
Yeah, lots of different injuries.
Of course.
And then I think as well, just people also socially isolated. So I feel like getting out of the house was probably the highlight of their week. So we
It
were,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember driving out here like, oh, this is the best. This is the best. 2 hours that I get to drive, leave my house. Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, so we're actually very lucky. We were busy through that time. And then after COVID, it just only kept building. Yeah.
Yeah, so did that make you more successful being, because I know like a lot of places just were like, and just closed.
Yeah.
Do you think that actually helped your, I guess, because it was pretty drastic growth early?
Yeah, I was honestly surprised. Like I'd set out targets like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months goals. And I'm pretty sure we hit close to our 12-month goal in like 3 months.
Yeah.
So maybe I undershot, but yeah, I was quite surprised how quickly it grew here. And I guess the benefit of COVID is too, like, I had no distractions. I know at the time I opened here, like I guess I sat down and like reflected on like my life, my goals, where I want to be, what was adding to like what was helping me get to my goals, and then what was distracting, and things like drinking on the weekends, going out with friends, like that was distracting to like every goal I wanted to achieve in life. So I was like, I'm going to stop doing that. So like that was like a very direct transition with that. And so, yeah, I think as well, like COVID, it's like there was no distraction. So it's like I could work here and then I could do computer work till whatever time at night. I could do computer work on the weekends. And it's like it didn't matter how much work I needed to do. Like work was just number one priority at that time. And there was
Just easier
less
to do the work
distractions
as
than
well.
usual.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because nothing was getting in the way.
Yeah. So I feel like it helped in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's tremendous value in just, like Ben said, like just being open though, like just taking the shot and not digging your head into the sand and just like going, oh, this is the situation that's presented itself. It sounds hard to operate and be open. Like we saw it again in the parallels to trainers where it was like I could go online, create opportunities for my clients to train and be healthy and whatever. But the flip side of that is like it's going to take a bit of work. It's hard and I don't actually know if they're going to do it. So the thought of that, it's easier for me to just not do it and just say, oh, look, you know, this situation happened. I'll just tell myself that I couldn't have done it and that'll make me, you know, feel better about myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Which worked out great for us.
Which
They all came to us.
And could have, on top of your amazing service and ability to get the outcome. Yeah. It's like just being in the arena and being active there's just so much value to that.
Yeah.
You know, rather than going and sitting on the sidelines and then just going, oh, okay, well, you know, the world was what it was. So it's okay that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you showed up and look at you now.
Yeah. I've been musing on this idea of like every reason that you could fail is a reason why you could succeed. And it's like, this is the perfect example of that. It's like you literally open the doors and then the world closed. And it's like, that could have been the end. But you look at it back at it now, and at the time, it's like, oh, I don't have distractions. I can put 100% into this. A lot of other places have closed. I can get access to athletes because they don't have anywhere to go. Like all these opportunities actually opened up in that circumstance. And like what you're saying is the same. Like our online service
Exploded.
was 10x better within a month than it was all previously to that.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever you're looking at and going, I'm scared of, or I might fail, because you can probably flip it over and see a reason why you'll win as well.
Yeah. I guess that's where I think COVID taught us a lot about like just controlling what you can control. So it's like there's certain things that are out of our control. It's like don't worry about them. But like, obviously it affects you, but like, just adapt. Like,
Yep.
what can we do? What can we do to move forward? So I think, yeah, kind of having that mindset, because obviously in business, even outside of COVID, it's like you're always going to get little obstacles. But as long as we adapt from it, we're going to learn. And obviously, if we don't learn from it, life has the way of just giving that lesson again and again. So it's like, if we want to move forward, we have to just keep adapting.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no point getting bogged down on the things that we can't control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That fluidity in your mental approach to business just has to be there. Like, as soon as you get fixed, as soon as you get rigid, like we even see it sometimes with the guys, like we'll say some stuff and like you can just tell like it's just a hard no just through their eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like that lack of ability to change and pivot and kind of move on, like, is kind of a characteristic that if you don't possess at some point, you're going to hit a brick wall in terms of your growth. You just have to be able to kind of work on the fly. Like, it's like one day, like everything just went bang and it's like, you can't go to the gym no more. You might not have been able to treat people no more. It's like, you've got to go, okay, what do we do next?
Yeah.
What can we do to keep moving the business forward? Whether it's go this way, go that way, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just like, oh, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just stop now. And it's, not something that you want to possess. If you want to scale, if you want to grow, if you want to be in here like 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it is, you have to have the ability to just move in a different direction.
Yeah. And I guess the more energy you're putting into, or like, say the COVID example, it's like, oh, COVID's a thing, I can't coach. The more energy and emotion you're putting into that, the less energy and emotion you're having to making decisions to move forward.
Yep.
So it's like, obviously you can be emotional about it, and like, but I feel like, yeah, the less you pay attention onto that situation you can't control, then the more energy and mental capacity you have to make decisions, move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speed of decision making is huge too.
Yeah.
How quickly you can just decide, like, this is what we're doing.
Just
Yeah,
roll.
or
React in this way.
Or that, and deal with the issue itself. Because like, even like, we'll probably talk about the staff thing, how you expanded your team. But it's like, even just without just using the world closing down as an example, it's like, you can have a team of this, and then in a month, 2 months, 3 months, it goes to that. It's like, deal with it emotionally or whatever happens. And then it's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, you got to kind of move on from whatever the issue is as soon as you can.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you can just flip a switch on. Like, you have to develop that to a degree, but you also have to have that awareness, like, I need to get the fuck over this as fast as possible for the good, for the best of the business.
Yeah.
You can't mope, can't feel sorry for myself, can't have that pity that we talked about last week. Like, even that self-pity, it's like, you need to sit there and be like, brother, like, let's move on. Let's get this let's get this show on the road.
And I think as a leader in your community, so it's like you're a leader to your clients, to like the coaches, and it's like, as a leader, people look up to you and they also vibe off you. So if you're there like having a pity party, being a victim, then that energy is just going to transfer down to all those people that are looking up to you. So I feel like, yeah, if you're having more like the positive outlook, you're looking for the silver linings, looking at what you can do, like all of that is going to radiate onto all those coaches, all the people that, like all the clients they have, and it's like that effect's just going to be so much more positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a degree of responsibility that, like, I feel like some people like us will take and thrive on. Like, because there's people that don't have to sit there and be like, I have to be an example for my clients and an example for the community that I expose myself to. But like, a high achieving person will take that and they'll use it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that again, characteristics of a successful business owner, it's like drawing energy off those situations sometimes is enough.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to show up for you, for Tam, for my clients. Like, that's enough for me to act and operate in a certain way, and there's just not like expect everyone to feel sorry for me when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
I think the willingness and ability to accept responsibility is probably the number one predictor for success. It's like, it's not the gym fault. It's gym's fault. You don't have leads. It's not COVID's fault. You don't have this. Like, you know what I mean? Or like we spoke in the other podcast, how you were like, client comes in, they haven't done their rehab, like figure it all out. And it's like, well, I haven't created enough buy-in for them to do it.
Yeah.
Which that means your service gets better and your processes get better. And although you see so many coaches, whether it's in your field or in ours, like that are just like, it's the client's fault. It's like, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as well, that comes across to business. So it'll be the same with the team under you. It's like, if you've got a staff member and they're not performing as you'd expect, or they've given like the wrong advice, or and then you have a chat to essentially like that's your responsibility. So it's like I obviously haven't taught them something, so it's like cool, rather than like putting that person down, it's like we're gonna actually put that energy into like teaching them and like giving them that skill so that they can be better next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that conversation like last week with an STC team member, and they were just like, "Oh, I'm scared I'm gonna fuck this up." Like, you can never get it wrong, because if you get it wrong, it's my fault. The only thing you can get wrong is not trying.
Yeah.
But if you try and get it wrong, it's on me, because I didn't coach you well enough. I didn't support you well enough. You didn't have the framework that was good enough. Like, whatever it is, it's like that's, and it's so freeing if you are managing a team. Imagine how freeing that is for them to be like, I can never get this wrong.
Yeah.
And if I do, Laura's going to come in and be like, cool, this is what happened, and next time we're going to do it this way, so then it's better.
Yeah.
Fuck, it would be so liberating to be that person in that space, like you said, that looks up to you, and it's like, oh, she's not going to yell at me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you've got their support to move forward and to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you step into the team thing? It was pretty fast, right?
Yeah. So as I said, we kind of met our expectations. Like the goals I set out for client numbers, we achieved them pretty quickly. So it was pretty quickly I was fully booked, and then realized that to grow the business, I would need to have staff under me. And also as well, just to give clients a good level of service, because obviously if someone has an injury, we were saying on the other podcast, you want them to come in as soon as possible pretty much to get a better outcome. So it's like if someone gets an injury and then they have to wait 2-3 weeks to get in, it's also not in their best interest as well.
Subtle flex. You gotta wait 3 weeks for me.
So yeah, both to grow the business and then to give like the clients their best care, or even because it's like you might see someone and then you want to see them in a week but you can't. So it's like
providing a good environment for the treatment, let alone getting to see you.
That's when I put an ad out to hire staff, and then Ben gave a recommendation of Ali, who ended up becoming our osteo. She was with us for 3 years and just left very sadly.
It's been that long.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it was so amazing having her work here and just seeing the growth she had over the 3 years, like with her confidence, with her skill set. And then now she's doing her own thing, which is very cool. And then, we've had a little bit of a transition of staff through the time as well. We've had a couple come and go. Ali was the main one that stayed. And I guess just trying to find the right fit for the team. And then recently we've had Bianca come on. Yeah. So, she's been here for a few weeks now and fitting in really well. So she was originally a myotherapist.
Fancy masseuse, sorry. Sorry, getting off on the wrong foot here. Change my mind, though. Change my mind.
Jason and Bianca now have beef.
Yeah.
I'm open to
book yourself in for a trip.
That's right. Yeah.
I think she called you a fancy PT.
I am a fancy personal trainer, so I don't take shots at that, Laura.
It's not. It's a compliment.
I am
I'm bouge.
Yeah, I am, absolutely.
What would you say the biggest lesson so far expanding a team?
I think not to rush for the right fit. Because I guess I know what I want in a therapist, and I think because we have the niche, it is harder to find somebody who is interested in training and interested in the gym. So I guess previously I'm like, anyone interested in that, cool, they're a candidate. Yep. But it's I think you have to look a little bit more at their work ethic, and are they willing to be open-minded, are they willing to learn, and so I think not rushing into it's a big thing. And then I think the second thing is as well, we were just expressing before about taking ownership for that person. So it's their skill set is up to me to change. So rather than so I think taking a little bit more ownership and being a little bit more proactive as they're coming on with some mentorship and kind of getting them up to scratch, and just so we also all have very similar ways of doing things. So it's when you come into this clinic, you're going to get a similar assessment level of care,
the experience.
And obviously each therapist does have different ways they do things, and different even just personality will be different, so it'll be a different experience, but essentially we want things to be run pretty similarly. I
think looking for characteristics over skills is in some instances better. Obviously there's a baseline of skills that you need them to have, but because most of the time they'll possess those. They've got to get an education to have them.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like those characteristics of like communication and like how they present themselves and you know, are they passionate and all those things that make
Coachable.
make someone better at interacting with like the general population. Like those things you can't really, you can teach them to a degree, but you do want them to kind of possess some of those things straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And then because you can teach them like, okay, here, this is our method. Like this is how we do things. Like we're the same with coaches. It's like if we were to bring another STC Fit coach on, it's not just, they can't just be like jacked and smart.
Yeah.
It's like they need to be able to work with the person.
Yeah.
You know, and you can teach them like how to do the sets and reps and stuff, more so than are you gonna walk into a room and people are gonna like you?
Yeah.
Like it's the easiest way to describe it. It's like you want that person, even if they're not as great at the job, as long as they have a desire to be great at the job.
Yeah.
And then you can train them to be the best.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
They're just hard to find.
Yeah.
They are gems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've even found, like, for us at least, like, we try and hire as new as possible. So, like, the people were coming back or returning, it's whatever. It's like, oh, you'll solve all the problems that I had last time. And that's usually for us, like, a big red flag of, like, but why didn't you make it last time? What happened? Yeah.
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 Just clean slate.
Fresh.
Do it this way.
Yeah.
It's like if someone's kind of done a bit of strength training but never done any bodybuilding before, it's like, I'll teach you.
Come with me. Yeah, yeah.
Teach you how to do this the right way.
But yeah, the systems, like you said, the word method, like, and for you, client experience is kind of the same thing. It's like feeling. We actually had someone, one of our coaches, went someone else that we'd worked with, and like we didn't actually work with them that much, but no surprise, we get along with them really well and collab a lot. And she messaged me, she's like, "Hey, have you worked with this gym before?" I'm like, "Oh, a little bit." And she's like, "Man, I felt like I was in STC and felt like the same pathway." And I was like, that's for someone to know even what that is. That like every channel I've ever been down with STC, and they've used a lot of our products, to go, the experience was, I felt like I was there over here. It's like, that's cool to have that trend all the way through. So for you, if you've got someone that usually sees you that jumps in with someone else because you're on holidays or whatever, like at least the feeling's the same all the way through, even if the personality is different or exactly how they treat's a little bit different, it still feels the same method.
Yeah.
That's a big challenge too, as like a therapist clinic in allied health, and most, even sometimes personal training as well, is like the person becomes the brand. So then, you know, like you got 3 rooms here, so there's 3 people. At some point, you're probably gonna, you know, look for world domination, and you're not gonna be as actively inside your business. And some of the problems can be if you don't have a method and a system and, you know, a sequence of bringing people up and doing things your way, then everyone just wants to see you.
Yeah.
And then you can't. Like, one, you can't because of time, but at some point you've got to give to what everyone else is doing, what's going on in these 2 offices as well, in terms of quality, you know, service, feedback, all of those things. And that requires time. So you don't want to just be the face of your business. You know, you don't want it just to be, you know, Laura or Ben or Jason. Like, people don't just come for that. They come because they come to Fox to get results. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's been a big thing learning over the years as well, having a business. So it's like, as we said, like the client books got full quite quickly, but then it's like, I want to build the business. So it's like you actually have to take a step back from like being in the business to work on it. And it's like, that's both with like working out plans on how to expand, but then that's also when you bring staff on, like you need to like take a little, like make sure you've got enough time to provide that person support, to make sure they've got what they need to move forward. Like, so I think trying to find that balance as a business owner of being in the business and out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Like I think you need to take enough time out that you can help with like your staff and all those things. Obviously as well, like I think outsourcing becomes quite valuable too. So it's like, unless it's something you enjoy doing, if someone else can do it just as good or if not better, then like, why don't you get them to do it? Save you time, then you can be in your craft more. But yeah, I think it's also making sure you're not just constantly like seeing clients, that you forget to like look at how the business is progressing and what the next step for the business is.
Yeah, which we've all done.
Yeah.
Just blinkers on. Just
400 sessions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll treat as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the hardest part for you?
Yeah, and I think it still is. Because obviously as well, like if you see a client, and like I said, you want to see him in the week, but you're fully booked, like at periods I'll be more strict with my diary, like especially if I'm doing like a prep for a powerlifting comp, something like that. But it's like, if not, I'm like, oh, just working it out like a bit later that night. An hour turns into 2
Keep
hours.
the lights on more.
Yeah, yep. And then that just slowly builds. But then you'll find over a few weeks, you're like, okay, I'm getting burnt out, need to drop this back. So you'll drop it right back, and then it slowly happens again. So yeah, people, sometimes they're like, why do you work so much? Like, is it a money thing? And I'm like, no, I actually really like helping my clients. And it's
Absolutely.
like, if I know someone will get a better result from seeing them next week, like I'll just kind of put them in.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
So it's
especially
like-
because there's probably a
Yeah.
time period at the start when, like you said, it's like see them immediately. Like that initial
Yeah.
period is like you want to get them the result, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you want to see them frequently. If you're fucking busy and you can't, it's like, but you want to help them. It's like, well, what's
Yeah.
the solution?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, having the lights on and the door open more makes more sense, right? But
Yeah.
then it's like the pitfall is, where do you draw the line?
Yeah. And I think as well over the years I have learnt as well my limit with like how many people I can see in a day before my quality drops.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's very important as well, because it's obviously you want the people coming through the door to have the best experience, and you want them, if they're coming in like 7 o'clock at night, to be just as good as the person who's coming in 9 a.m. So I feel like if that quality drops, you're definitely seeing too many people. But then obviously as well, it's like you have a life outside of here. So it's like, is it starting to affect things outside of work? And then it's probably too much as well. So I think, yeah, I feel like we all like definitely push the envelope a lot with how much we work. But then it's, I guess, just taking it back at different steps, or knowing when to pull it back and what for. So am I pulling it back so I can help my staff? Am I pulling it back to work on growing the business, or just so I can like have a bit more of a personal life for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. Which are all very, very well warranted.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Another quick break. I just wanted to jump in and remind you guys about the STC Fit Learning Mentorship. Now, our mentorship's been running since about 2016, where we've developed trainers through their first year of business in personal training and allowed them to leapfrog the first 5 years of mistakes that we made. If you're currently studying, looking to finish in the next month or so, or you're looking for someone to help you out with mentoring and all that kind of stuff, jump on, have a look at the details for the mentorship at stcfitlearning.com. Head to programs and mentorship, and all the details are there. And you can come and be an STC Fit coach for an entire year. Includes all of our education and direct mentoring from our head coaches. Back to the episode. So another thing that I think a lot of our listeners either pursuing or have thought about is the podcast. So you have your own barbell coach and physio.
Yes.
Nailed it. How have you found doing it, B, impact on your business, growth, reputation, goodwill? How have you found that spin-off? I think I saw something the other day. You guys have gone like 150 episodes?
Yeah, it must be a good 3 years we've been doing it now. No, overall the podcast has been like a very positive experience. I think it's been cool. We've had some awesome guests on. Like, that's how we originally met, actually.
Yeah.
So you're a guest on our episode.
You have to scroll down deep, guys. It was early.
It was early on.
Episode 20.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was cool, like, I guess, having, like, that networking with different coaches, people in the area. And obviously when we get people in to talk, when we get guests on, they're, like, experts in their field. So it's like we're learning something from that episode, which is cool. But yeah, I feel like the networking side of things has been great. I think as well, it's definitely helped with my communication skills, like even just in the clinic as well. Because obviously, yeah, I think for the first like 50 episodes, I probably didn't say much. But yeah, I think like the more you like know how to express, like you just get in a role with expressing things, like those skills do improve.
Yeah.
It's brought a few clients in here, like not. I think if someone's doing it just to bring clients in, I don't think it's the best idea. Like, I don't think it's the smartest idea. Like you say with things, I think just people knowing you have a podcast, it gives you like a little bit of merit, and they're just like, oh, cool, you must be smart, you must be successful. It gives this like
Credibility.
just credibility. So I think it definitely can be that, but I think if you're doing it just for clients alone, it's probably not the best way to put your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not getting word of mouth and organic prospects coming
I think
through.
you've got to tick those off first, and then it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a yes and not a solution.
Yeah.
Because I think people think like once I start a podcast, I'll be Joe Rogan. I'll be able to sell whatever I want. It's like it doesn't work that way.
Nah.
It like for us, it plays the core of our messaging and our content, and obviously, content is where we drive most of our business from, like from Instagram.
Yeah.
And it makes up the bulk of our Instagram content.
Yeah.
When you think of the time we could make those clips and just speak to the camera and get Tam to make them cool and put them up. So the time input to making that clip's way bigger from a podcast. But like you said, the branding and the goodwill and all of that. And for us, the same as you, being able to articulate our ideas and our thoughts and that, it's almost like Jason and I wouldn't have a 3-hour meeting a week.
Yeah.
But we talk through so many ideas between the two podcasts in 3 hours that when we leave, we're like, you've worked out all this stuff in your head and you can articulate it better to the team, to the trainers, to the clients themselves. And you just think through stuff way better, and there's benefit to that. And being out learning to speak is huge.
Yeah.
It's
also heaps of fun, which for us is a big value that we want to express. You know, as soon as we made the way we work fun rather than like obligatory, everything changed. Yeah, just in terms of messaging and.
Funnily enough, the numbers got better too.
Yeah, and the business in itself changed. Those like how you operate as a business is like, what do you guys value? And we're like, fun. It needs to be fun.
Yeah,
and then everything changed.
Just changed. Yeah. I think as well, it probably gives people more insight into your personality, because I guess especially if you're dealing with someone online or when you're dealing with them in the professional sense as well, it's like you're like spending most of the time, like you're building rapport, but you are spending a lot of time like communicating things that will help them, you're educating them. So I guess as well that kind of helps people understand your personality, and by doing that it's probably going to drive you people that actually suit you better, rather than getting the people who are like, I think another therapist or another coach would be better for you.
We do a hate, it's just like people are going to hate this. Yes. Because it's like the people that hate it are going to hate us. Like they get into a standout call in the first 10 minutes as banter, they're just like, why are we here? I hate these people. So having the funnel through, like you said, that the personality makes it again, more fun for us to pursue. It's cool. So next step for Fox. We've got this I don't know how many squares it is. We probably should measure it today.
I think it's 170.
I was gonna ask.
I think the main rectangle is like 170.
Yeah, I thought it'd be around eyeballing 200.
And then it'd probably be 200 a lot.
Yeah, that's up.
So we've got 200 squares of unused space downstairs. I feel like we should maybe turn it into a gym.
I think that's not a bad idea. I feel like we could make that work.
I think so.
As soon as we knew that was empty, we were just like, this can't happen any longer.
Unused space. It's a wasted space.
How long has putting something down there been on your mind for?
So we took over downstairs a year ago. And then at first, so it was kind of just, the idea was just like put onto us. It was like either you guys have to leave the facility or you have to take over downstairs as well. And I was like, well, taking over downstairs seems like the better longer term option, so we can have more rooms upstairs and like maybe a better facility. So that happened 12 months ago. And I guess I just didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I floated around a few ideas. Probably had I probably was working too much in the business that I didn't put enough effort into, like, what am I going to do downstairs? Yeah. But we floated different ideas around, like maybe some recovery. Maybe we'll just leave it what it is. Maybe a couple of rooms down there eventually. But then we've recently been discussing with you guys the idea of a gym downstairs. Yeah. And I think the plan we've made has probably been the best plan yet. So we're going to roll with it.
Yeah, it's cool. So obviously when we first started chatting a couple of months ago, it was like, there's a space there, used to be a group gym, so let's just do that. We'll brand it as whatever is going to be a cool tagline for people that want to go do that kind of training. We'll just run it completely separate and just like try and make some money out of downstairs. And then I think we were here and we were like, So there's a lot of powerlifting equipment here. There's mono, there's two combos.
Even more once we bought it.
Yeah. There's a hack squat already just like kind of hanging out. There's fucking,
Yeah.
There's $5,000 worth of bars downstairs. Let alone anything
There's
else.
some really good training kit there.
Yeah, so like it seems a waste not to capitalize on both of our branding, goodwill, what you've built here, again with the barbell in the logo. It's like, why don't we look down the strength path? So the current discussion is group focus still, but all under the strength banner. Which I know as soon as we started talking about, you could see Laura go from like, oh yeah, we should, to I want to do that.
Yeah. I was like, I'm really excited about this now.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. What do you think? What are you most excited about for the first question?
Oh, I feel like it'd be great. I think that sometimes when we have, obviously it won't just be our clients who are going down there, but like it'll be open to anyone who's interested. But I think what we see in here, when I see people get like the worst or like the least progress, it's normally when they're not training properly. So it's like, I feel like having, like if we have people that aren't getting coached, to have them downstairs where they're actually fixing their technique, that they're lifting properly. I feel like that excites me, because it's like they're going to get such better progress. Or maybe it's someone who's not training and it's like, I just want them to move, but I want them to like move in a good way and have proper technique. It's like, I want them to go down there. And I think as well, a lot of group fitness gyms, they're good for the community aspect of things. Yeah. So I feel like this is taking our niche of strength, and then it's also giving people a community. Yeah. Like when you walk into a gym and it's a community, like it's such a nice feeling, like everyone's saying hi to everyone, people know each other's names, they're asking about each other's family. It's like, it's not just a shallow, like people actually go look forward to the connection. Yeah. So I feel like it's combining like strength, like supervised work, so they're going to get better results, or like good results, better technique, and then it's the community. Yeah. But what excites you guys the most about it?
The community stands out the most for me.
Yeah.
Because I know even for myself, like I was competing and powerlifting gyms are intimidating.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, it's going to be cliquey, they all know each other, they train together. Like your first couple of sessions in there is like, fuck, where do I fit in this place? And looking at my clients that I work with, them stepping into that environment is just like, who are all these bearded fucking jacked humans that are like headbutting barbells and sniffing white powder before they lift? What is happening here? So to take that a step back, and then we're obviously working with a couple of group gyms at the moment and experiencing the camaraderie, the, like you said, knowing the family and hanging out outside of the gym and all of that. And we're talking a lot lately. We did an episode with Loz about like, we were talking about lonely chapter in terms of when you get to a certain stage in life and business where you start to outgrow a lot of people. But I think it's just everyone's lonely. Doesn't matter where you are in your life. It's just like the lonely generation, whether it's social media or whatever. So to have an outlet that, I know the barbell for me always meant more than the barbell, was always a focus, a passion, life lessons, whatever it was. It's like the barbell will never lie to you. It'll always be like that kind of shit. So to have that pathway, then layer on community, then layer on high skill set, then layer on like bespoke, you can transition into whatever you want to do with the barbell or strength or whatever, all in one place is really cool. I think to create that environment, knowing that we're all coming into that, with that being the target outcome. Yeah. No one said once, like, make a fuckload of money. It's like, we want to build this thing that'll create this outcome, and it'll make money because we'll do it really well.
Yeah.
I think that's exciting too.
Yeah. So obviously the community one is the one that screams out the most, but I'll take a bit of a different angle just so we're not saying the same thing. It's a big echo chamber. I think from a business perspective, the one thing that we have really tried to do is to look at when someone comes to Fox or to STC Fit or STC in general, it's like, what do these people want, need, use, and could benefit from? So when someone comes here, we already know that they train. We already know it's really important. We obviously know that they want the best service possible, hence why they come here, and they also get the best service. So now we have the ability to go, cool, if you're not getting all of those things in another thing that we know people like you want when they come to get treatment, we have the ability to service them somewhere else downstairs because they all train. Well, 99% of them probably do. So we can comfortably and confidently say, well, you can come downstairs now. Now you've got your treatment upstairs. We've already talked about, utilizing the network, nutrition, mentality coaching. It's like we know all of the people that come here, they would benefit from that stuff, and they probably already use it. Yeah. So it's like, why not remove the friction and the obstacles that maybe present themselves either like, physically by, trying to go and do things, or even just mentally by I need to see a nutrition coach, but it's hard, and go, well, we've got this person, go book in here, or we've booked you in, or whatever. Like you can kind of just like get better results, which is why we're in this business, to help people by just like creating the environment rather than getting, in past we're like, go book in with this person or go see this person. Now we're just like, this is our coach, or you just need to go downstairs and speak to so-and-so. So I think from a business perspective, that's pretty exciting. It's like, it's not a lot of people that look at things that way. And we've always tried to create that. Like it's been the long-term vision for us. And then even just like the other week when we were brainstorming downstairs, we were like, this can be this. And one person who comes upstairs will most likely benefit from all of that. Yeah. So I think that's
and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. It's like anyone that goes anywhere within, Fox or STC, like they'll need all of that stuff. And I don't know if like the client will have enough awareness to know that that's been strategically done, and that's fine. But we know, and it makes me feel really fucking good. Yeah. Yeah.
So full STC tradition, full transparency. What are you most scared of?
Oh, what am I scared of? I guess it not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it will.
Good answer.
What do you? So so when you say I'm scared of it not working, are you scared of public perception if you try and it doesn't work? Are you scared of financial repercussions? Are you scared of your own sort of like, I'd be a failure, or like where's the fear come from?
I guess it's probably like getting excited about something, putting your energy and effort into it, and then it not working. Yeah. But I mean, I guess if whatever reason it didn't work, it would be a learning. So like you could then adapt and then do something different. Like yeah. What do you think?
Do you have
one? What am I most scared of? I'll tell you what. For the first time, I am really struggling to find this answer. Obviously, like it not working. Yeah. Is the one, but it's like, how much am I scared of that? Yeah. It's like, I'm just scared of that the most, but I'm not that scared. Yeah. Type thing. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. I had this like really, went down a spiral. My social media is mad at the moment. If I want to go business and personal development, I just open Instagram. And if I want to go and, do the things that Jason likes to do outside of the gym, I'll open up YouTube. And it's, fucking a cat playing a piano or some shit, whatever it is that you can get on YouTube. So, I went on a bit of a spiral on social media, on Instagram, and it's like, I saw this video and it was like, work out your worst case scenario and have a think about what that is, right? So most cases, the worst case scenario for most people, like not everyone, is that you'll work every week until you're 65, right? So you'll just work a week-to-week job to survive until you're 65, and then you'll retire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and I was like, fuck. The worst case scenario for me is what most people are going to do for the rest of their life. Yeah. So I was like, knowing that, I was like, fuck, man, shoot your shot. Yeah. Like, I'm here for it. Because I was like assessing, like, I know that's not the worst case scenario for everyone. Some people, like, they might not have a roof over their head and all that shit. But I'm like, in my situation, that is legitimately the worst thing that will ever happen. Yeah. So I was like, well, fuck, like, I'm just more liberated to take shots now and go for it, because like if I fail, it's like, yeah, fuck, like, people are going to be like, oh, they tried and whatever. I'm like, yeah, well, what the fuck have you done? Like, have you ever tried to lift something that you didn't know if you could and you didn't? Yeah. It's like, well, that's failure. Yeah. And then it's like, well, what about the time where you did it happen afterwards? sure. So like you said, you learnt and you got better and more resilient, you come back. So I think the more I mature and stuff, the less I care about like what other people think when it comes to did you fail and, you know, you guys suck and whatever. Because it's like, fuck, man, small business, I'll tell you what, like it's fucking failing a lot.
Yeah.
It's just about coming back and being better. So, yeah, like I don't want to sound all cliche, you know, motivated kind of business coach, but it's like I'm not really that scared.
Yeah.
I think I'll use the word intimidated instead of scared. We've got, this will be number 3 gyms that we'll be working with. This one will still not have our name on it, but we're the most invested in this one. The intimidation of, we have a business partner, we have staff, we have a wider spectrum of people, and I'll always, no matter how team it is, in my head, I'll always be like, I'm 100% responsible for this outcome.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're the strategy guy, you're the vision guy, you're the whatever. So it's like, if you fuck this up, it's on you. So that level, like we've sat down with people that we've worked with in gyms before that are like, we can't eat. It's like, we're not making enough to kind of get by. It's like, fuck, if I don't get this right, you lose your dream. Maybe you can't afford to eat and all that kind of stuff. It's like that's the most intimidating part. But on the flip side, it's the most, we've been talking about getting rid of goals and turning them into obligations. And it's like the level of obligation is so high, there is no question of motivation. It's just like, fucking show up every day because I care about even the person that I might not even speak to. It's like, I care about making sure that you're successful. So it's the same thing that's scary is the thing that's maybe most exciting as well. It's like impacting other people further away, and then being the low-key control freak I am, just not being here. Not actually being in the space. It's like, it's way over there, but it's awesome.
Motivation to move, mate.
Fuck. It's getting that way, I'm not going to lie.
I know, I've thought about it too.
3 of them out here.
But yeah.
Sweet. I feel like we're on time.
Yeah, lovely.
Tam's like, yes, shut up. So that was breaking news. Hopefully Tam does some kind of clip for Instagram that announces that. But yeah, 2024, which is now, I'm really struggling with that.
Yeah.
Because we're recording this still in 2023. There will be developments. I'm not going to even bother putting a time on. It'll take as long as it takes for us to get it right, get it ready. So super exciting. In the meantime, though, Laura is obviously one of our online allied health coaches. So you can go to the website and find out how that works. Don't forget also check out the episode that comes out on Wednesday with Laura again, where we talk way more about like her craft and skill set and how she works with coaches and gets the best results for athletes and stuff as well. So you can vet her and then start sending your clients through Online Allied. Jay said in the intro of Wednesday's episodes that online might be better than face-to-face treatment. So I don't know.
You'll have to watch the episode to find out.
Laura's like, please still come see me though. To find, what are your Instagrams? It's just at Fox Physio.
Yep, at fox.physio.
Sweet.
Yep, and then the link in bio will also have, in the link tree, it's got the booking link for the STC.
Yep. Yeah, so
all the details on the STC online physio. Yep.
Book online or face-to-face, of course. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week.
Catch you later, guys.
See ya.